you for joining us on the Nikki Maduro Show. I'm Nikki Maduro, and look who is back. It's Kim McAllister. Thank you all for joining us here on the Nikki Maduro Show. Hit that subscribe button and the thumbs up as always. And we want to say thank you to Chip Franklin for joining us last week while
Chip.
Kim went on her little overnight vacation with mom. And it was a good overnight vacation. Yes, my friend?
We took her to the Bodega Bay Lodge and did a little overnight with my mom and my sister and a couple of friends, and then took her to dinner at that. They have a nice restaurant out there.
Right.
And then got up the next morning and she had a massage at their spa. And they have this pool and a hot tub. And the hot tub is like an infinity hot tub. And it overlooks these wetlands with the ocean in the distance. And it's really relaxing and beautiful. But I got so sunburned. I'm so stupid. I know this about myself. I go out into the sun and I turn bright red, and now my forehead's like crunchy. I'm at the peeling phase now. But
now you have your like my pale friend always says like she got her base burn at the beginning of summer and now like the rest of the summer works. I'm like, I don't think that's very healthy. I don't think dermatologists are going to say that that's the best way of doing it. But she always says once I have my first summer burn, then I could tan for the rest. And I'm like, I don't know if that's the best idea, but put your sunscreen on, all you people. Summer, we're going to have a heat wave, at least if you're in the Bay Area. It's going to get hot, I think, in your neck of the woods, really, tomorrow, right?
Really hot. Yeah. And
really hot. But I'm very excited for it. We're going to LA, actually, on Saturday. Anybody ever heard? Did I tell you this already? We're going to go see the Savannah Bananas. Anybody in the comments? Does anybody know who the Savannah or what the Savannah Bananas are? Anybody? It
sounds like a little kids music group.
Music is included. So I've heard about them a few years ago. They go viral on social media. And basically,
I have seen it. Yes.
It's like the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball. And they sing and they play games. And apparently the tickets are reasonably priced if you can get them. So they do a lottery. And I mean, they only play certain games all over the country in certain ballparks. And so it's a lottery. And so this year I put myself into the lottery, and I'm telling you, just getting chosen for the lottery is just a chance to buy it. And then you have to be in like the time segment that you get. And if you're not in the time, if you don't like log in at that time, then you can't buy. I mean, it was hoop after hoop after hoop. But it's down in LA. And so I was like, well, and then if you get tickets, you can't sell them. If they find out that you've sold them, resold them, and they like on StubHub or something, you are banned from like ever buying them again. Like they take this extremely seriously, apparently.
This seems like more serious than buying Taylor Swift tickets.
Yeah, because they're not badly priced. I think the most expensive ticket is like $80. It's not bad. And like the cheapest is like $40 or something. So it's not bad, but they don't want it to be scalpers and all those sorts of people. Now you can go on StubHub and people risk it. Don't get me wrong.
They kind of look like the Village People.
Yeah. And if you go on if you go on social media, you'll see all sorts of videos. They take popular music and they do all sorts of things. So yeah. And so James and I are taking the kids down to LA Saturday, coming back Sunday.
How fun.
Yeah. So we're not even big baseball people, but I got into the lottery. So I was like, screw it. Let's just go. You know what I mean?
Who do they play against? Like
they're playing against
AAA team?
Oh God, I knew that. Hold on. They're playing against, I should know this because I've been looking at it all the time. So they're playing this Friday against, I should know this already. They're playing against, I just had it.
Some Los Angeles AAA team?
No, I mean, yeah, I guess it's I mean, it's not too bad. So it's what month are we in? Oh yeah, the Firefighters. Yes, I was in the Firefighters at Angel Stadium.
Okay.
I mean, it's another team that does this, I guess. It's not like a real team. I mean, it is to do this, right? So, but that's how I describe it. Yeah, exactly. I say it's like the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball. So it's fun. It's fun to watch, and people love it. I mean, but it's a pain in the ass to get tickets. And so put yourself in the lottery, try to get tickets. I'll let you guys know. I'll take pictures and video and stuff like that to let you know if it's worth the hassle of getting the tickets. But I wish it was closer so I didn't have to drive all the way
know.
down to LA, but it's not like we're not doing enough driving this summer. Let's add another mini road trip to the long ass summer that we're doing. But yeah, so that's what we're doing. And the next week, my son graduates 8th grade. So it just starts
and you'll have
everything.
2 high schoolers.
And can I just say, because we didn't actually give her any props on the show, your daughter and son and their musical talents. Oh my goodness gracious, because Julia, she is both of your children are extremely talented, but your daughter was paid for a gig.
She
and
did.
You traveled for it and like paid more money to do it. But I just want to say, just on our show, your children are so very, very, very talented. And if you follow Kim on social media, you probably saw the video. But I was just blown away.
It's just my kids.
I was blown away by Julia. I am telling you, that girl is going to go far if she wants to stay in music. I just, it made me literally I kind of brought tears to my eyes. I was so proud of her, and I'm not even her mother. So just saying.
You. So nice.
Just wanting to give her props because I wasn't able to. I forgot, but so our kids are just growing up so fast.
They really are.
I just can't believe it.
2 more years. They're going to be juniors next year, and then it's 1 more year, and they're gone.
And then who knows?
And that's why you have to do the things like this. Make the Savannah Banana memories.
Exactly. All right, you guys. And again, if you can support the show, this is a 100% crowdfunded show. So thank you to everybody that donated last week when Kim was gone and Chip was on the show. We love your donations. PayPal, Patreon, super stickers, super chats are all the ways that you can donate to the show. But let's get into it. So the latest news on the Trump tariffs is it's like whiplash. Today, an appeals court has paused the ruling from yesterday that blocked Trump's tariffs. Now, you know what? Okay, so let me just say. So yesterday, a trade court had halted Trump's tariffs. Today, the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit's court ruled that the International Trade Court blocked it. All right. So it's restored Trump's ability to levy those tariffs using his emergency powers or whatever. Now, the appeals court also ordered both sides to provide written arguments on the question of blocking the tariffs, setting a deadline of June 5th for the plaintiffs and June 9th for the government to reply. This is my thinking. Not that Trump has anything in between his ears. The tariffs are a bad idea. Like nobody likes them. They're not doing what Trump said they were going to do. He said they were permanent. They're not. Right. Well, everybody knows they're not. He has this taco, which I find to be extremely funny. Trump always chickens out. I love the freaking reporter. Did I pull it? Oh, here it is. I love the freaking reporter that asked him the question about it. And he was so freaking pissed. I'm sure you guys have seen it, but I'm going to play it again because I find it extremely funny. This is him being asked about his new nickname, I guess.
Wall Street analysts have coined a new term called the taco trade. They're saying Trump always chickens out on your tariff threats, and that's why markets are higher this week. What's your response to that?
I chicken out?
Chicken out.
Oh, and then I chicken out. I've never heard that. You mean because I reduced China from 145% that I set down to 100 and then down to another number? And I said, you have to open up your whole country. And because I gave the European Union a 50% tax tariff, and they called up and they said, please, let's meet right now. Let's meet right now. And I said, okay, I'll give you till June 9. I actually asked them, I said, what's the date? Because they weren't willing to meet. And after I did what I did, they said, we'll meet anytime you want. And we have an end date of July 9th. You call that chickening out? Because we have $14 trillion now invested, committed to investing when Biden didn't have practically anything. This country was dying. You know, we have the hottest country anywhere in the world. I went to Saudi Arabia. The king told me. He said, "You got the we have the hottest country in the world right now."
Sure.
6 months ago, this country was stone cold dead.
Right.
We had a dead country. We had a country people didn't think it was going to survive. And you ask a nasty question like that.
Nasty question.
It's called negotiation. You set a number. And if you go down, if I set a number at a ridiculous high number and I go down a little bit, a little bit, they want me to hold that number, 145% tariff. Even I said, man, that really got up. You know how it got? Because of fentanyl and many other things. And you added it up. I said, we're up now. We're at 145%. I said, whoa, that's high.
Thought he said it. I thought he said it.
I said, woo, that's high.
We were very nice to China. I don't know if they're going to be nice to us, but we were very nice to China. And in many ways, I think we really helped China tremendously because, they were having great difficulty because we were basically going cold turkey with China. We were doing no business because of the tariff, because it was so high. But I knew that. But don't ever say what you said. That's a nasty question. Go ahead.
Nasty. I thought the tariffs were permanent. Do you see how through that whole babbling, it was negotiation? I thought it was permanent to bring manufacturing back. Remember that whole thing?
Yeah.
That was a load of shit, right?
Yeah, it was.
I mean,
yeah,
he just admitted it.
it's true. And I saw today people were like, oh, the courts, stopping the tariffs and then allowing the tariffs to move forward and then another court weighing in, that it all puts makes it in limbo and it's volatile. No, Trump was making this all volatile at the very get-go. He can't decide whether he wants the tariffs, whether he wants them as a negotiating tactic, whether he's going to make it permanent, whether he's not going to make it permanent, what have you. 1 minute we're taking it off of cell phones, the next minute we're slapping it back on cell phones.
Yep.
He is messing with the economic markets, which is why the traders on Wall Street have come up with this taco thing for him. Trump always chickens out, and clearly it bothers him.
Well, I want him to chicken out. It's kind of like the poke the bear. We want him to chicken out. We don't want the tariffs. Yes, please continue to be a chicken. I don't want the tariffs.
If it bothers him, I say use it more. Use it as much as you can. The minute he starts calling you nasty and getting upset about it, it means it got under his skin.
Yeah, that's true.
Good. Taco, taco, taco. Trump always chickens out. What a big wimp. Taco City.
Well, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent gave actually a less than optimistic response to a question about the Trump administration's trade negotiations with China, because you heard Trump right there saying it's going great. And obviously with his back and forth on the trade, Bessent said, I would say they are a bit stalled. I believe that we will be having more talks with them in the next few weeks. And I believe we may at some point have a call between the president and the party chair. So stalled, no progress. We're not making progress with China. And in the meantime, this hot economy that we have, no, people are paying more and more. And they're just lying, Kim. They're just, look at this guy. Did you see this guy, an Ohio senator? I'm just going to show you this right now. This Ohio senator has tweeted this, and he has not taken it down. And I share this with you because they don't give a shit. They don't care. So Bernie Moreno, scorecard under Donald Trump, stock market up 10%. Egg prices down 55%. Inflation at a 5-year low. Gas prices down 20%. $6 trillion plus in new U.S. investment, and consumer confidence the highest in 4 years. That's all in 4 months. Now Republicans in the Senate have to step up. That was on the 27th of this month.
Are they making up their own news?
Yes. And it's fact checkable. It's literally, you can fact check this, and they don't care. This is the problem with this administration. They will just say it, and they don't care that they're lying.
If
And
you
that's
say
the
it enough,
danger.
it
Right.
becomes something people will buy, right? It becomes true to people. If you
Well,
say, all you have to do is say it enough.
well, or they don't, or it doesn't matter if you believe it. It doesn't
Mhm.
matter. He literally just stands up there and says it. And even though you're saying that's not true, he'll say, "You're nasty. That's a terrible question. You're fake news," and move on. And that's it. And 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 that's all they wrote. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a straight and Bernie Moreno, even though people called him out, proved that he was lying. He wasn't shamed enough to take the tweet down. And he's just a senator. You know what I mean? He's just a
Yeah.
senator. He doesn't feel like his position is in any way, shape, or form threatened because he's blatantly caught in a lie. What does that tell you? What does that tell you?
Luis coming in with $5.
Thank you,
Biden's
Louise.
America had a higher credit rating, more economic growth, and better numbers. You bring U.S. tank parades on your birthday, and
Yep.
even the Canadians hate us.
I know. Even the Canadians. I mean,
Luis,
come
it's full of
on.
truth. Truth, Luis. Yes.
I mean, there has been some good news. Elon Musk finally found the door. Well, I think that obviously the DOGE cuts weren't having the impact that they thought it was going to have.
Yeah.
Because the law was getting in the way, right? Like they were like courts were getting in the way. All of this sort of stuff. Like, damn it. Congressional law, constitutional law was getting in the way of these cuts. And they weren't making all of the savings that they said that they were going to be making. And now a federal judge has greenlit a lawsuit against Elon Musk. That Judge Chutkan has ruled that 14 states can move forward with their lawsuit against Musk of illegally wielding that unchecked government authority through DOGE. They say that the allegations are that Musk acted as a shadow executive, making major federal decisions without Senate confirmation. The DOGE executed mass government layoffs and drastic budget cuts, and that Musk's appointment violates the Constitution's appointments clause. So I'm sure Musk is like, "Let me get the hell out of here," but it still doesn't negate the lawsuit. I don't know what the punishment would be. I mean, what's the punishment going to be? I doubt he's going to get arrested. And even if he did, Trump's just going to pardon his ass. He's pardoning every other criminal that there could possibly be right now. You know what I mean? It's like, "Oh, you committed a crime. Let me just pardon you." You know what I mean? It's crazy right
Elon Musk walks out after
now.
his 130 days in service and, wreaking havoc on the federal government and on people's lives and livelihoods. And off he goes into
Right.
the world where his reputation is in tatters, where his Tesla company, the profits and the reputation in tatters.
Right.
But I don't, and you would think that this was a bad deal for him, right?
Right.
Now he's kind of universally, I don't want to say universally hated because I'm sure there are MAGA people that think he's the fantastic guy. But a lot of people have a lot of hard feelings with Elon Musk and don't
Yeah.
want to have anything to do with Tesla. Mark is turning his lease to Tesla in next week, wants nothing to do with it.
Is he?
He is. I mean,
Aw,
the
good
lease
job,
is up,
Mark.
but so I wonder, was it worth it to Elon Musk? And I have read stories about the retribution he took on these agencies, ripping apart these agencies that were investigating him or would have put fines on him, plus
Right.
his ability to then have Trump in his corner going around negotiating all these Starlink deals for him. It's estimated that at least $2 billion is coming Musk's way because of his short time in government and his purchase of the American presidency. So I think he'll deal with his
Oh,
raggedy
he's gonna be fine.
reputation
Yeah.
and building Tesla back up or what have you, because he's making money hand over fist. And that's what it comes down to. It doesn't come down to personal responsibility or being a good citizen or, pushing America's ideals of democracy and freedom to the forefront. It comes down to how much money can I make, and I don't care what happens
Well,
because of it.
obviously, I
Yeah.
mean, come on, Elon Musk made his billions off of government contracts and then had the audacity to then pull up the ladder after. You know what I mean? It's like, no, now we need to stop doing that. You know what I mean? He is the epitome of a hypocrite. And so he wanted to kind of be like what the lawsuit says. He wanted to be a shadow president. And I'm sure that he wanted it to last a little bit longer. And who knows, maybe he will be. I think he bothered a lot of people in the White House and was taking it a tad bit too far. But he's poured. He actually, I was reading an article just I think today or yesterday. He's like, I don't think I'm going to make any more political donations. I think I've reached my limit.
Right.
I would say so, dude. You have poured way too much money into politics. So can you just pull it away?
What do you think about what Kevin is saying? He says, I don't think Musk's reputation will ever be the same.
I don't think he cares.
I
don't think he cares at
he's
all.
laughing all the way to the bank. He doesn't care what we
Exactly.
think of him.
I don't think he ever cared. I don't think he ever cared.
You don't think he did?
No.
I wonder,
Why would
though,
he care?
if it's out of sight, out of mind. If he's not in there doing things, do people tend to forget? Do people tend to just smooth it over? Oh, he's not doing it right now. It's no big deal right now. Or is this an ongoing beef that you and I will have with Elon Musk and we'll carry it to our grave? I don't know.
Well, you remember, obviously, because Tesla's a local company to the Bay
Yeah.
Area, did he give two licks when they were having the problem with the workers in their factories? He didn't give two licks about that. He doesn't, he is not one with a reputation of caring about the
No.
little man. He
No.
just doesn't. And he doesn't care about bad headlines. Remember? He
Allegations
doesn't
of
even have like
extreme
a customer
racism?
service line. Remember?
Right, no,
Like,
he doesn't. He doesn't even have a PR rep.
No.
The media line, you call and they're like, we're sorry, well, there is no more media
There
department.
isn't. He
You
doesn't
can't ask a
care.
question here. But he has allegations of extreme racism in the factory. And
doesn't
right
care.
you are about COVID, where he was threatened and actually did end up moving his headquarters because he was so upset that California was asking him to shut the work down at the factory because of COVID, that
Yeah.
it wasn't an essential job. And so he needed to take a break, or he needed to put some safeguards in place. Didn't want to do that. Doesn't care about protecting people.
Yeah. He just, I really just don't think that he cares.
Mhm.
He did obviously, leave, I don't know if it's bad terms, but he did not like Trump's big, beautiful bill. He said he was disappointed that it would increase the federal deficit, which I wonder if it's landing at all with Republicans. Again,
Mhm.
lying straight to the American people about what this bill does. He says, I was disappointed to see the massive spending bill, which increases the budget deficit, not decrease it, and undermines the work the DOGE team is doing. If you are a Republican and you signed on to the whole work that DOGE is doing, and you buy what Musk is selling, and he is even telling you that this bill is raising the deficit.
Mhm.
Come on, wake up.
Yeah.
If this big, beautiful bill is screwing people and protecting the extremely wealthy for some godforsaken reason. The greed of rich people lobbying politicians to keep these tax cuts, because that's obviously what's happening here. I can't understand why these politicians feel the need to have to do this, right? Like that you have to balance it on the backs of the poor instead of just taxing the rich, which would be so much easier in my opinion, but they just can't seem to bring themselves to do it. So there has to be some sort of pressure from the people that pay to get you elected. That's the only thing that seems to be the answer here. And it boggles my mind that people just aren't rich enough. I just don't get it. I really, and Elon Musk isn't rich enough, obviously. So,
No.
yeah. But they are hypocrites. And they're liars. And I'm just going to say straight up, they are liars. We were both laughing before the show about that Maha report.
Yeah.
So RFK Jr. came out with this Make America Healthy report, and it's filled with errors. Okay. At least 7 fake sources that didn't exist. They called the actual people that were cited in these studies,
Right.
and they're saying, no, these I never wrote that. That study doesn't exist. That title doesn't exist. Listen
You
to
could ruin someone's career by doing that, by saying they did a
Exactly.
study that they didn't do or reached conclusions that were never reached. This is bad.
Exactly.
They're
And
saying sometimes AI did these studies. They just kind of wrote it
Right.
willy-nilly. They made crap up.
This is Carolyn Levitt, who has zero shame, in my opinion. I would love for someone just to ask her, do you have any shame? But here's her answer.
Thanks so much, Caroline. A notice investigation found that the Hallmark Maha Commission report that was released last week cites studies that appear to not exist. We know that because in part, we reached out to some of the listed authors who said that they didn't write the studies cited. So I want to ask, does the White House have confidence that the information coming from HHS can be trusted?
Yes, we have complete confidence in Secretary Kennedy and his team at HHS. I understand there were some formatting issues with the Maha report that are being addressed, and the report will be updated, but it does not negate the substance of the report,
Yes, it
which,
does.
as you know, is one of the most transformative health reports that has ever been released by the federal government, and is backed on good science that has never been recognized by the federal government.
And a quick follow-up, can you talk about what tools or research goes into production of these kinds of reports? For instance, is it AI that's used to put together these reports now?
I can't speak to that. I would defer you to the Department of Health and Human Services. What I know is just what I told you.
Yeah.
How
Can you
does she
imagine
have
if they're
do
putting
this?
it together? I mean, AI.
I mean, you can't trust what's in there. And by the way, formatting issues does not equate to fake studies.
No,
Formatting
exactly.
issues is, gosh, your margin is bigger on one side than the other, or your
Exactly.
paragraphs seem a little skewed. What she said about it's not a substance issue is incredibly incorrect. And I don't know how she stands up there with a straight face and lies to the American people. What a horrible troll-like villain.
You can say it. You can say it. She's a bitch. But she's a liar. And that's
Yeah.
and like I was saying earlier, it's they stand up there and know they're lying.
Yeah.
Like she knows she's lying. It's you cannot, or I mean, even if it's AI, I mean, unless they're saying, and just say AI wrote it, you can unless this is what I imagine. Let's just say it's AI. And you put into Gemini or Chat GPT, right?
Mhm.
Write me a study that shows X, Y, and Z. And I want you to use these names, and they insert the names of
Mhm.
people that study these things and titles. And they spit out a report that uses those names with made up titles. And there you go. And I could see RFK Jr. doing something like that. That is the only way I can imagine those names being attached to fake titles in like JAMA. You know what I mean? It's blowing my mind, and it reeks like high school essay plagiarism. You know what I mean? Like, are you that stupid that you would probably, possibly, allegedly do something like that? Because otherwise somebody was like, I'm just going to make up a title for this
Yeah,
study
they're
using
lying.
that name.
It's
They're
all a
lying.
lie. They're lying to their own end. And I can understand RFK Jr. He's got, things he wants to do, right? He wants to have vaccines go away, or he wants this, so he's got all these weird ideas.
But you
Okay.
shouldn't take health, you shouldn't take health
No.
advice
But
from him.
We shouldn't. We
Who
all
is
know
he?
this.
Who
He's
is he?
crazy. He's a cray-cray. But we know this about him, and we know that what his methods and what his madness is. What I don't understand is Caroline Levitt, and I don't understand what she gets out of this.
A paycheck. A paycheck.
I mean, how much is it worth, though?
Her
To stand up there
soul.
and lie. How much could they, it's a government paycheck. How much could
I'm
they
gonna
be
Google
paying
that.
her?
How much?
Like,
How
What
much.
else is she making? Is she accepting bribes in her off time? What is it about this
She
job
makes,
that
guess how much she makes? At least
hun
according to Finance Monthly.
152 a year?
So according to Finance Monthly, her salary is reported to be between $200,000 and $220,000 a year. But her
Right.
net worth, according to Times of India,
Mhm.
I'm naming my sources here,
Yeah.
is close to $6 million. That's
Wow.
her net worth.
So
So
she already has millions. Why does she need to stand up and be a liar? 'Cause
she could have a house. I mean, that's her net
not enough?
worth. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
yeah. I don't know. I just don't know how much she's gonna get from this that's gonna I mean, if she is MAGA, maybe, like, she feels
she
like she's working
is.
toward the racist agenda. She loves to talk about throwing people of color out of the country. Maybe she's just mean-spirited, so anything they want her to say, she'll say it because it's a
Mhm.
means to an end for all the
Yes.
mean things they're doing.
Yes.
Maybe that's what it is about her. But I
Mhm.
can't imagine someone offering me $300,000 a year and saying, "Go say that stuff that she's saying." I
And the
100%
way
no.
she says it, like,
Oh,
she
she's mean.
seems angry
She goes
because
up
you
there, the minute she cracks the mic and starts taking questions, she's got a chip on her shoulder. Yeah.
How dare
It's
you
like
ask me a critical
I'm ready
question?
to fight. Yes.
It's
Bad.
literally your job is to take questions. And I understand it has to be hard. And I've
Yeah.
said this before. It's hard to stand up there and you are the spokesperson for the president and
Yeah.
defend what he's doing. There's a balance there.
Yeah.
But you can also respect the fact that that a reporter has to do their job. And it's like, thank you for asking me that question. So I X, Y, and Z. I understand that there were mistakes in that Health and Human Services study. We are quickly addressing those,
Right.
and those are going to be fixed. We don't know how that happened, but we do
We're looking
stand
into
by
it.
the information,
Sure.
and we're going to be fixing it. You don't have to I mean, obviously that's kind of what she said,
Right.
but she's just full of shit. You know what I mean? Like, and we know she is. We know she is. I don't know. I'm just
This White House spokesperson is always gonna spin things in favor of
right.
the person who's in power at the time. But there's a difference between spinning
Yeah.
or leaning information toward a certain way
Right.
and still having it be truthful, just in your perspective of how you're looking at the information versus out and out lies, factual inaccuracies,
Right.
and angry, vitriol, and that's what we get
Mhm.
from her, and that's
Yeah.
different.
It's as if this administration cannot handle any criticism, right?
Mhm.
If you're critical of us, then you're fake news, right?
Yeah.
You're
Mhm.
lying. It can't be, there's something wrong with us. There's something wrong with
Yeah.
you. You put the story in. The DOJ is cutting American Bar Association access to judicial nominees. Attorney General Pam Bondi told the American Bar Association that the Trump administration would no longer cooperate as the organization that vets its judicial nominees. It says in a letter that the Bar Association, it's accusing the Bar Association of failing to fix the bias in its rating process, a claim that follows the organization labeling some of Trump's nominees as unqualified for the bench. Quote, according to Bondi, unfortunately, the ABA no longer functions as a fair arbiter of nominees' qualifications, and its ratings invariably and demonstrably favor nominees put forth by Democratic administrations. Accordingly, while the ABA is free to comment on judicial nominations along with other activist organizations, there is no justification for treating the ABA differently from other activist organizations, and the Department of Justice will not do so. If you don't agree with the Trump administration, you are labeled fake news, activist organization,
Yeah.
whatever. Look at the 3-judge panel that blocked the tariffs. They called them activist judges. One was appointed by Bush, one was Obama, and one was Trump. Like, what are you talking about? Like, he can't handle anything that's against him, or you must be activist. You must be the swamp. You must be something. It's in, and that's the danger. That is the danger. That's him surrounding himself with sycophants, right? That's taking the media and just wanting to put in people that ask easy questions. Can you imagine if that entire White House press pool was only Trump supporters? And that's the only press that he allowed in. Imagine what that would look like. Imagine if that was the only information America got was, oh, he look how healthy the president looks. What's his workout regimen? Oh my God. Tell us about that amazing piece of legislation that's doing the absolute best for the American people, and the economy is just soaring when it's not. You know what I mean? Like, that is the danger. That is why a free press is the First Amendment.
Mm-hmm.
Because all the way back then, they knew how important it was.
Yeah, that's right.
For the president not to have power over the media.
Mm-hmm.
And now people don't even seem to understand it. They criticize the media, and it's they forget how important it is to be separated from the government. And they don't have any respect for that separation anymore. And it blows my mind. It blows my mind.
Free and fair press is critical to a free and fair democracy, right? We know that, but they know that too. And they don't want a free and fair democracy.
No, they do not.
So they're trying to slam it down and make everything be their way. Look at the bottom of that article, because here's what it really comes down to. When you talk about the American Bar Association and their vettings and who they have recommended and who they haven't, and they look at it's quite comparable to administrations in the past. I think they turned down 3 Biden administration recommendations or nominees, and they turned down 10 Trumps, but they recommended 173. So they're recommending, or, after the vetting process goes through.
According to Ballotpedia, the ABA rated 264 of Trump's nominees. 187 were rated well qualified, 67 rated qualified, and 10 were not qualified. And though a small figure, that stands in contrast with other recent administrations, which had at most 3 unqualified picks in office. And so because 3 is less than 10,
they lean Democrat. Here's what we know about Trump. Look at all the other nominees. Most of them are unqualified. So I'm actually pretty surprised that the American Bar Association recommended 186 or 187 or whatever it was. They only had problems with 10 of his nominees. To me, that's generous of them.
Right. Well, I just... Again, he only wants to surround himself with yes people. And we can't have that. It is extremely dangerous. And I don't understand why. Even his supporters don't understand why that's dangerous. But they drank the Kool-Aid. You know what I mean? Look at this guy. I'm going to show you this. And Vicky, thank you so much for the $20 donation. Love to the chatters and to Nikki and Kim. Thank you, Vicky, so much.
Look how Vicky's eyes just stand out in that picture.
Oh, look at you.
I know.
Gorgeous.
The hot to trot and Sausalita. That should be your name. Vicky and Sausalita for 20. Thank you. We really need it. Thank you so much.
You do indeed. Look at this guy. This is Pete Hegseth. I'm sorry I can't enlarge the picture any more than that. So he buys these suits, right? And he always shows them off, right? He's like showing the inside, like he's American, big America supporter, blah, 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 blah.
Flag lining. Yeah.
Right. Has a flag lining. Well, apparently these suits are made by a company that produces it. It's called Book a Tailor. Okay. Well, this company produces its clothes in Thailand.
Oh.
So, he's being called out online. He says, instead of covering yourself in USA flags, would you be interested in supporting US tailoring shops that employ US cutters and coat makers? This guy's like, I can help you find out. It's just like Trump making his MAGA hats in China and all these other places. And you know what? I'm actually not knocking Book a Tailor or making hats in China, because that's how we designed our economy, right? That's how we get cheap goods, unless you want everything to cost buku bucks, right? Like, certain things can be made here. Certain things should be made elsewhere. Threatening Tim Cook to make Apple phones here is ridiculous. No American jobs would be here. It's fucking automated. You know what I mean? I was reading this whole article about even if Tim Cook brought everything to make the iPhones here, there wouldn't be American jobs. It would be robotic. He's like, I'm not going to pay Americans to screw in those screws.
No,
I would just have robots do it. It would be a
it's not
machine. Like,
feasible.
it's not like
They're not doing it.
he doesn't even think about that. Like,
No.
you can make them here, sure, fine, but it's not going to be American jobs. So what are you going through all the machinations for?
Mhm.
It's not going to happen. You're just going to raise the price of the iPhone up like 10 times as expensive. So what are you doing? It's just nonsense. And it's illegal. Like, you shouldn't be putting this pressure on a private business and forcing them to make their product here. That's not right. So, and he's not making any friends either. I don't understand why he's doing anything like that. But that's Donald Trump for you. So we'll see how this tariff thing goes. Again, June 5th and 9th for the plaintiffs, and then the government reply. I think Donald Trump should take the out. I really do. Take the out.
Yeah, the court
the
said I can't
tariffs.
do it because he knows now that it's a big failure.
Right.
So look at the courts got involved and said we couldn't do it. And then even if the economy is bad, he could say, well, if the courts hadn't done this, then you can see that the economy would have been so great.
Exactly.
He's got an out and he's got a blame.
Exactly. Louise, thank you for the $5 donation again. Levitt, Gnome, Haba, the Trump Barbie collection, brains not included. Exactly. And Levitt with her darn cross, you know what I mean? The accessories that they love to just put out there as if they give a crap. You know what I mean? They're taking, Medicaid away from people, and as if they care.
And food
You know
stamps
what I mean?
from the
And
poorest
food
of the poor.
stamps. Well,
And they don't want
say
free lunches in
rich.
schools anymore. So take
Right.
away, the food from the children, take away the help, the safety net for the poorest among us. Where you
Right.
walk through the streets, I don't know if you ever think of this when you see homeless people, but the thought that most often enters my brain is, how can we be this rich of a country and we can't fix this and we can't help these people?
Right.
Right? And here they are, regardless of feelings for people, they don't want to help them. They're taking things away to put more people in that position.
Exactly.
That's who they are.
Yeah.
And then they walk out with their black blazers and their big shiny crosses, like they're front and center in the Christianity movement. That's not what Christians are about. I mean,
no.
Are they? Is that what Christians are about?
No. Not real ones. Not real, but there are some true hypocrites obviously out there. You know what I mean? Like they're church Christians, right? I'm going to go in, I'm going to check the church box. I did that today. And they're going to walk right back out and do the complete opposite, right? And then they're going to say, well, I go to church every Sunday and I put money in the donation. And so I'm better than you. And then they vote in the complete opposite way of how Jesus would have lived his life, right? So it's just ridiculous. This is fucking fun of me. Look at this. The whole Trump crypto thing, right? I'm talking about like crime or, it's a crime. The president of the United States is grifting us right in front of our face, right? And nobody seems to care. House Speaker Mike Johnson was speaking with CNN's Jake Tapper on Sunday. And this is also my problem with Carolyn Levitt, the Republican Party, and what scares me about them as well, and Trump supporters, is they love to say the words like Donald Trump tells it like it is, and he's so transparent. This is what Mike Johnson says. He says the difference, of course, is that President Trump does everything out in the open. He's not trying to hide anything. There's no shell companies or fake LLCs or fake family businesses. He's putting it out there so everybody can evaluate for themselves. I am evaluating. He's grifting you. So now do something about it. Like, it's as if just because I'm committing the crime in front of your face, that means it's not a crime.
It's blatant corruption.
It's just blatant corruption. He is a president that is making money off the presidency. It's not supposed to happen. He invited all of those people. You don't get a check. You don't get a punch out of the presidency. He invited all of those people to that dinner. He was being influenced. Like, he was getting paid. Like, are you fucking kidding me right now? If that was Biden or Obama, hair would have been like on fire with these Republicans. And yet, because Trump just did it out in the open, look how transparent this president is. And we can evaluate for ourselves. Okay, we evaluated. Do something. Stop him from doing it. Mike Johnson, I could slap him in the face if I saw him. I'd be like, he has the most smug, like, I'm doing something here. Like, I am a good House Speaker. You, like Carolyn Levitt, he's just as bad as Carolyn Levitt. Like, he thinks that he's doing something. He's rallying for the Republican Party, and he's not doing anything for this country. And I just can't believe he had the audacity to look into a camera and say, he's doing it out in the open and we can evaluate for ourselves. Okay, evaluate it. And do you think that it's okay?
At least it's not a lie, right? At least he's not blatantly lying like Caroline Levitt. What he's saying is outrageous. And what he's saying is, like, what came out of your face right now? How can you say that and not think there's a problem with it? And isn't he supposed to be like Mr. Religious?
Hey, that's exactly why I was talking about. Like,
yes.
He doesn't, and they sit up there with that smug face and say, see, and I want to slap him. Just like, screw you, man. Like, it's worse because they have put themselves on this pedestal of religion and righteousness. And you are just, it actually makes you a worse person. Does that make sense? Like, you're actually worse, because I would rather have you have no religion and not believe in God at all than to say that you do and say what you say in front of the American people. Like, that pisses me off more. And it's just, I couldn't believe when I saw that. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, the crypto grift that Trump is doing, he has made for his family. Oh, it's in a blind trust. Are you kidding me right now? They know exactly what they're making. Like, he loves crypto. Oh, he hated crypto the first time around. Loves crypto now. Now they want to put so much. They want to have like a crypto, like kind of treasury type of thing. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, no, they want a crypto department that manages has all the crypto decisions.
No. Okay. Do you want to check my crypto? I checked it last week with.
Trump. Are you up?
Or with Trump? With last week. Remember, I put in like, what was it? $50, $100? I never could remember. It was something like that.
Yeah.
Okay,
this was
so
a few
let's
years
check
ago, though. This is back in the KGO days, right?
Yes, this was the KGO days, and I only keep it. Chip told me to sell it last week. He's like, sell it. And I was like, no, I keep it. I'm at $2,063 right now.
And then what did you start with? 50?
$50.
And how many years has it been?
It's been a few years. So I was, I'm not going to sell it.
It must have jumped in the last month or so.
Yeah, it did have a big old jump. But again, I know Vicky's like, sell. No.
Sell.
Crypto is a scam. It is. It's a total scam.
Yeah.
There's no reason. But this is what gets people. Now, I'm not, you know what? Crypto is not a scam for people that got paid. I mean, real money is real money, right? If you invested in crypto early and then pulled money out, that money that you pulled out is real ass. If I pulled out that $2,000, that's real money.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. What's in my phone is crypto. What I get back is actual money. See what I'm saying? Like, I can't go into Safeway and say, I mean, I'm sure people would take it, but I'm like, because they want to exchange it for real money.
There are some places that will accept crypto as a form of payment.
Because they want to exchange it for actual money. That's what I'm saying. You know, like, it's not, it's not real.
No.
I mean, money is just, we were talking about that. Like, obviously there's an agreement on dollars, right? And stuff like that. But it's stupid. And I don't think we should be messing with our economy with crypto. Like, no.
But the Trump and friends have found a way it's interesting that they're attracted to crypto as the big grift. They know it's not based on anything. They know it's a total scam. But now
Right.
they have companies, even if you make a trade, that they own the companies that make the money for trading your crypto. They're going to get money regardless. They
Yeah.
have managed to put their sticky fingers into the crypto market and make a bunch of money.
Bunch
And
of
eventually,
money. Yes.
people that have invested will be left holding the bag because it's not worth anything,
No, it's not.
really.
And I love, Vanessa, you brought this up. Crypto is destroying the environment with all the energy needed for
Yeah.
blockchain. And not only that, as people talk about crypto and AI, every time you hear the words crypto and AI, just remember we are destroying our environment.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it because I know that that's where we're heading. I mean, not so much crypto, but AI. It is destroying. Look up Georgia. Google Georgia and AI because Georgia is a popular state for, these farms that are basically just holding these places where they have these computers that are just turning out all of this information, and people just look up the most asinine things on Chat GPT and Gemini and all the other, and every time there's a new AI company, this is what's happening. And it's using so many resources. It's pulling so much water. I was reading this article about this Georgia couple that was thinking that they were going to live, out in the woods, and right next to them is like a meta AI building or whatever. And it's huge, acres and acres and acres, light pollution, all sorts of, they're losing water. And think about, this is just the beginning of AI. Think about where it's going. And so when you hear like Mark Cuban and all these people learn about AI, have your kid learn about AI, just remember, you want to know why coal? They keep talking about coal? We have to use coal because they are building these AI plants faster than the solar can keep up with it. That's another reason why they're building these coal plants and keeping them running, because they can't meet their targets for wind and solar. Meta had made a promise, I think 2036. I think they wanted to be completely like green. They can't. AI is moving too quickly. So all this, and I get it. AI is nice and it's fun and it's kind of crazy that they could churn out fake ass fucking reports, right? I get it. But every time you hear about it, it uses so much energy. Now, I was also reading that there might be an AI bubble, right? So people it might get more efficient. The technology might change, which I kind of hope that it becomes more efficient.
Sure.
Think about the first computers and how big they are. I really hope that it becomes something like that, because our environment is going to be decimated if we can't figure that out. But still, it's bad. It is really, really bad if we do not get some sort of lock on how this energy is produced for these machines that churn out this information. It's crazy out there. It absolutely
I thought they were going nuclear. I thought they were going to build
Yeah.
these little mini nuclear plants.
That's
next to
another
all
one
these
that they're going to do.
farms,
Yeah.
these AI farms. I don't know.
But coal is another one. Coal, nuclear, but I think they're going to lean towards coal because coal also politically works for Republicans. You know what I mean?
Yep, it sure does. Can we talk for a moment about Harvard?
Oh, let's
Harvard.
Harvard.
So I
How
saw
can
this-
Harvard exist anymore?
you know that Trump has now canceled every government contract with Harvard to give them money for research. Whatever the money was coming from the government to Harvard, Trump says no more.
Right.
And they want to cancel all the visas for international students, specifically students from China, anyone having to do with the Chinese government.
Right.
But I saw this meme on Facebook, and I had to dig deeper into it. And it said that it's part of Trump's retribution tour. And if you've wronged him in the past, he's coming for you.
Okay.
Well, apparently, it said the reason that Trump is all gung-ho to go after Harvard is because they didn't let his son Barron in
I
He was
saw that.
denied, and they did let one of the Obama girls in. I think it was Malia Obama got in, but Trump did not get in. Barron Trump did not get in. And
Interesting.
so I then saw this legit article, which is much more than just a meme. But this article says the Trump family says this Harvard grudge that they have has zero to do with Barron's college decision. This is First Lady Melania Trump's spokesperson who is now setting the record straight. They talked to E! News. And
Okay.
they said there is nothing personal about Donald Trump's ongoing war with Harvard. Melania Trump's reps shutting down rumors the president's aggressive campaign against the oldest Ivy League school began after her son Barron Trump's application to Harvard was rejected.
Oh.
This spokesperson says Barron did not apply to Harvard. Any assertion that he or that anyone on his behalf applied is completely false. He is at New York University and is wrapping up his first year at the Stern School of Business. So, why Trump is so gung ho on Harvard, I don't know. And I'm not sure if this is true or if it isn't true that somehow they
Yeah.
wanted him to go there and he didn't get in. I don't know. But it just seems so weird that he's so hung up on Harvard.
Yeah. I mean, and he's targeting them. And obviously, a Harvard pushing back doesn't
Mhm.
help Harvard's case, right?
Yeah.
And I'm proud of Harvard. It's like, screw you. Don't
Mhm.
give in. Hold the line. I
Right, you
I
don't fight against the school with the best lawyers in the country and the best law school in the country. Like, you're probably gonna lose.
Well, and also I think, just take him to court. Like,
Mhm.
honestly, take him to court. Prove that Harvard hasn't done anything to protect students against anti-Semitism. And also, they have to also prove that, obvious you can it's a hard thing to prove and unprove. So, can obviously Trump point to protests? Yes. But does that mean that nobody on Harvard got a good education? Obviously not. And
No, they're
Harvard, it's not like it's one section of Harvard. It's a huge campus where everyone can get an education. So Trump is going to lose this lawsuit. He is just trying to kind of pick and kill him, with 1,000 cuts to hopefully get him to back down.
Mhm.
Harvard better not. Uh, if Harvard backs down, that's going to be extremely bad for private education. And I don't think that they should. I hope they don't. It's just like CBS. CBS tried to settle with Trump, and Trump said no, which is what he was always going to do, which is why CBS should have taken him to court.
Yeah.
Trump wants to stick it to CBS because of that 60 Minutes interview.
Mhm.
He does not care. He doesn't care. He wants to humiliate CBS. He does not want the FCC to approve the merger, and he's going to drag it out. He
Yeah.
wants to hurt CBS. You think
Mhm.
he's going to take any settlement? He wants $25 million. They offered 15. I bet you even if they offered 25 million, he'd be like, no, I want 30. He doesn't care. And CBS is a fool for not taking him to court because they'd
Yes.
win. They would win.
ABC as well. You want them
Yeah.
I want them to fight. I know they're probably looking at it thinking, well, he could get this. It's going to cost us this much. They're going to go back and forth. The rulings will be appealed over and over and over again. This is going to go on forever. Better just settle and get out of it, right? And plus then we're not on the FCC's radar anymore. No.
You'll always be.
Right now is the moment where everyone needs to fight. And if you have a specific fight, even the better.
Yeah.
Then you better stand up for what's right. If we
Exactly.
all did it, if we all the companies that are being targeted by Trump, all the law firms, all the media outlets, all the universities, everyone who's being unfairly targeted by him fought back, then maybe
Exactly.
we'd all have a chance.
Exactly. But see, it's those that want to benefit that would, weaken kind of that chain, right?
Yeah.
And that's what he counts on. And it sucks that ABC and CBS don't understand that, but Harvard does. And so they got to hold the line. I hope they do. I think that you're right. Like, they have a ton of lawyers, and it's Harvard. Like their reputation, I think, is going to definitely keep them insulated. At least I freaking hope so. I mean, because really, we're talking about Donald Trump here, who's an idiot. I mean, I'm sorry. Everybody that knows him knows he's an idiot. Like intellectually, like he doesn't read his, the reports and the daily stuff. Like he's not Harvard material, let's just say. So, yeah, he's not the smartest guy in the room. Let's just say that.
I know we are out of crypto. We just talked about it, but I just saw the story and I think it's so important to at least read you this headline. There's this crypto exchange called Binance. And the SEC was going after Binance for all kinds of problems. They have the SEC, which, by the way, was torn apart asunder by Musk and his DOGE company, or, right? And because as the SEC was coming after Musk, they ripped it apart and left it, in tatters. So the SEC dismisses this lawsuit against Binance. And it says here in this, the secondary part of this headline, that Binance then turns around after this case is dismissed and thanks the Trump administration in a statement after the dismissal.
Of course.
So these agencies that were supposed to protect us financially, with our food supply, with our medicine supply, that are supposed to keep us safe and are supposed to stand up for the American people, we get this. We get a dismissed lawsuit against a bunch of crooks, and the crooks go, thanks, Trump. And if that doesn't tell you whose side Trump is on, I don't know what does.
Exactly. I mean, again, it's just like, the FCC, which is supposed to, protect the airways. They work for Trump. Just like the EPA, which is supposed to protect the environment. They work for Trump. He puts people in charge that even the first time around, he put people in charge that despised the agencies that they ran.
Yes.
Again, this is his MO. I'm not surprised. So it's just another day in this hellscape that is the Trump administration. And I don't apologize for describing it that way. I want it to end. I really freaking do. And I can't wait until this administration is just done. I'm praying for a good turnout in the midterms, but we shall see. All right. Enough of Trump. Let's move on to something that was actually good. Oliver Widger. Do you know the name, my friends? Were you following Oliver's story? No. You don't know the name? I thought I thought of anybody that would have been following the story. You would have. Oliver Widger. I actually, I hate when people do stuff like this. Like, they're always like, I was following him from the very beginning, but I followed him from day 2. So I'm not going to say from the very, very beginning, but I was following him from day 2. So on Instagram, there was this gentleman by the name of Oliver Widger, and he was working at a job that he absolutely hated. Okay. And he quit. He's like, screw it. I'm quitting my job. I'm selling everything that I own. I'm getting a sailboat, and I'm sailing from Oregon to Hawaii with my cat. Okay. The handle on his social medias was Sailing with Phoenix, because Phoenix was the name of his cat. And I followed him. I mean, I wasn't like obsessed with him, but then once I saw him on Anderson Cooper, I'm like, oh, this guy is definitely blown up. Because I was asking my husband, I'm like, are you following this guy? Because this guy's like sailing all the way. And I mean, I thought like he obviously took some time. It wasn't like he just decided to buy a sailboat. He was trained on it and everything like that. And I remember there's this one video that he did, and he says he was talking to this one guy who said, a lot of people talk. Right? They talk and they talk and they talk, but they never actually do it. And I wonder if you're going to be the guy, are you going to be one of these guys that do it? Or are you going to be one of the guys that doesn't do it? And apparently he had he has this health problem. It's called hold on, my screen it's called my whole thing is freezing right now. It's called Clipper feel syndrome or Klippel-Feil syndrome.
Okay.
KFS. It's a skeletal condition where two or more of your cervical vertebrae are fused together,
Oh,
and it can cause abnormalities in the spine. Some get undiagnosed, but he found out later in life. And he found out, and he's at risk of paralysis. And when he found out, he says, it pushed me to finally choose a life worth living. He says, I hated my job. I despised the corporate machine. And so he's like, I'm done. I'm going to sail away with my cat. The funniest thing, and it's kind of funny, the funniest thing is this guy gets to Hawaii. He's a total introvert, right? Like he's like, and he's kind
look
of
at all
funny.
the people out there
I
trying to
want
meet
to,
him.
oh God. And he's
Mhm.
like, so he starts, he's like, he's talking about it. He's like, well, if all the eyes are on me, I really hope that I don't just completely like crash into the dock because everyone's eyes are on me. That was one of his biggest fears. And he would do like these daily things. I was trying to get it up while I was talking because I didn't have it up already. He was talking about it. And then when he gets off, he had the most beautiful welcome when he arrived in Hawaii. And I was trying to find it, but he doesn't have it on his Facebook page.
They
All
put
of
the-
Hawaii was like, they had ships around him. They were on kayaks. It was the most beautiful welcome into Hawaii that
Oh,
he did. And it was so nice. And it was a little overwhelming, I'm sure, for the guy because he's such an introvert. But he had Elf. Do you know the makeup company?
yeah.
They airdropped a package to him close to the end of his thing. I don't know. I just kind of felt that it was pretty cool for him to do it. Now he's going to go to French Polynesia. I think that's his next stop that he's going to do. But yeah, he sold it all. I just,
Wow.
I respect it. I think obviously a health scare does stuff to you, you know what I mean? To make you kind of want to do something like that. He worked with one of his friends to kind of edit all of his videos, which kind of helped him go viral, right?
Sure.
So, but it was really, really cool. Oh, here we go. This is one of his videos with his cat. I have it on Instagram. Let's see if I can show it to you. Here we go. Da, 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 da. My freaking computer keeps freezing. Okay, here we go. So here he is with his cat.
Is better tomorrow
Oh.
for crossing the bar, and it sets me up better for the first few days of the passage. I would be lying if I said I wasn't scared. I am. I haven't been this scared since I quit my career to chase this dream. But that was the best decision I've ever made in my entire life. So, I will embrace the fear, and I think this will be also a really good decision. Once again, I will face my fears, and tomorrow is it's going to be terrifying. But I'm going to leave here at 6 a.m. because I think for tomorrow the bar crossing needs to be at 9:30. And as far as my content, as long as my Starlink works, I will be posting. I'll try and post daily. We'll see how it works. And if for whatever reason something happens to where I don't have Starlink, just know I am out there. And
So yeah, it took him like 24 days to sail all the way to Hawaii. So
Wow.
now the reason why I also wanted to share this, besides the fact that the guy was freaking cool, is there was this guy on Memorial Day.
Wait, I found the video you're talking about.
Okay, go while I get the other video. Go.
Okay. I'll just play this for you because I think I can do it.
Open ocean experience. Wicker was
Yeah, there he is. You can just see the video in the background, but there he is on his boat. And here he is arriving in Hawaii, as Nikki was mentioning.
Yes.
All of the boats that greet him. You look at the rough seas he went through.
Oh yeah. It was crazy. And he was really cute. And then he's doing all these interviews and he has this like kind of nervous laugh where he's like, he's kind of an awkward guy, which was really sweet. And I know that's made him kind of adorable while he was filming every single day. And he wore this Britney Spears shirt during one of them. But look at that.
Yeah.
It was so beautiful.
That's cool.
And there was
Love
this
it.
cat. It was just
Mhm.
really, really sweet. Now, the other reason why I wanted to show this is there was this over Memorial Day. There was this news report, and these news reports go out to the airport, talk to people traveling. It's
Yeah.
like Groundhog's Day for reporters.
Yeah.
And I just watched Oliver, right?
How many times have we been there?
Right? And we've done it a million times. So I watched Oliver do, arrive. And you're always thinking, like, could I do that? Right? Would I do something like that? And then this news report comes up of this guy that's out at the airport. And it says on the title, well, that took a turn. And so here is the video of this reporter in the airport. And it made me think, like, did he just see Oliver as well? So here it is.
Looks fun. I wish I had vacation days, and I wish I had the money, Frank and Jessica, to go wherever I want and just leave Mike right here and walk over. So I'll be here tomorrow.
Oh,
Wow. Do your thing, man.
Yeah.
If you want to get on a plane, do it.
Do it.
Life is short, Carlos.
that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Just, you know what?
Make a decision.
I mean, I don't know how his wife would feel
Yeah,
about it.
exactly.
Honey, I felt like going to
Yeah.
the Caribbean. See you
Yeah.
later.
See you later.
I don't know.
I'll be back in a week. Don't worry.
Right. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Boy, he put a turn on that, though, as opposed to that cheery Carlos. I can't go anywhere. I'm just here with my microphone.
Sometimes he gets that way.
Yeah, that's our Carlos.
It was just kind of like, okay, I don't,
I wish I could just leave this microphone and walk onto the
And just-
plane.
walk away and just leave it all behind. And while on one hand, I respect what Oliver did, there was a
Mhm.
reason behind it. Like, he had this kind of come to Jesus life-threatening moment. Oh my God, I hate my job. I might be paralyzed. I found out about this health issue. I've always wanted to do this, and I'm gonna go do it now. Versus, I've got a wife, I've got kids, I've got a husband, whatever, fill in the blank. I'm not going to abandon everything. Let's make a plan. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, let's do something like that. But I respect it. And it went viral. I don't know how he's going to bank on it. You know what I mean? I
He
think
had his Calgon take me away moment.
exactly.
You know who also goes viral? When they send the sports guy out to cover for the weather guy in the middle of winter, and they're pissed off and they're angry and they start saying,
Exactly.
and they start giving away the newsroom secrets. Like, I
Right.
can't believe they called me out at 5 a.m. to go stand in the snow or the tornado or hurricane or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Poor Carlos. Carlos just sees everyone having fun and leaving on vacation. He wants to join in.
He wants to, yeah, he wanted to go in. So, I feel for Carlos. I love what Oliver did. If you haven't seen it, Sailing with Phoenix, you could follow all of his, and it's like a couple minute long things.
Mhm.
But it was really, really cute. It was a very interesting ride for him. I forget what it's called, but the thing does the boat while he's sleeping. I learned a lot about sailing, but we have an old
Autopilot?
colleague. Yeah, it's like this
Mhm.
autopilot thing. We have a friend, Kristen Haynes. She's been on
Yeah.
the show. I mean, not that she gave it all up, but her and her man, like, they sail. She has her blog and
Mhm.
they live on the sea, basically just traveling in the water. She's the first
Yeah.
person I thought of when I thought
Yeah.
of Oliver, So people do it all of the time. I can't live like that. I am way too much of I need a bed, I need a home, I need a roof. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm doing this road trip this summer. I'm already, I am, I'll be honest. I'm getting a little bit of an anxiety of like being on the road that long,
Yeah.
but I'm going with it. Look, see, tomorrow with my cat and sailing from Oregon to Hawaii. Yeah,
I need to
respect
chase
it.
this dream.
there you
Right?
go. Exactly. Yeah.
I respect people who actually go do chase the dream. I'm a little too ingrained in what I've got going on, and I
Mhm.
like the day to day.
The
Pretty
plan,
soon,
the
as we
schedule.
talked at the beginning of the show, we talked about how we have 2 years left of our teenage daughters, right before they go
Exactly.
off into the world. I don't want to miss that, but I understand at the same time Carlos and all of his responsibilities and the wife and the kid and the microphone and being sent out there on Memorial Day and all of that stuff feeling the heaviness of it and just looking at people going off for fun. But
Yeah,
fun,
exactly.
the fun vacation ends at some point, and then you come
Right.
back to what? The reality. You know,
Exactly.
this guy and his cat eventually, as they have already, landed in Hawaii. Now what?
Exactly.
What's next for
Like,
you? You've got to
what
figure something out.
What are you gonna do next? What
Mhm.
is what's the next step? And
Mhm.
how are you I don't know if he expected to make money off of this. I think he
Right.
just, wanted to document his sailing trip. Although he had his friend that was doing this, so I'm sure he had some sort of plan. They're selling merch. If you want to go to his website, they're selling, just shirts with his image on it. I think it's to kind of fund his trip to the French Polynesia. But I mean, besides that, I mean, what are you going to do? I don't know. I think the novelty of watching this guy sail might end soon. Yeah, but it's been my dream to do this trip with the kids, Ricky, and so I'm doing it. I think most of my anxiety is being on the road this long, although our driving schedule is pretty doable. We have not had too long of spans of driving, so it's not like 12-hour days of driving. We did not do that kind of schedule. So we're doing it pretty slowly across the country. Yeah. And I'm really excited to end in New Orleans. Very, very excited to end in New Orleans. So I'm already looking at things to do. Airboat tour of the swamp is the thing that we're going to do in New Orleans.
Yeah.
James and I did that when we went years ago in our 20s. When we went to New Orleans, we did a swamp tour. So we're going to take the kids on that. And then
Watch out for gators.
They're going to bring them on the boat. I have a picture of me in my 20s holding like a little baby one. So I'm hoping I can get a picture of either Marley or Dylan or both doing that. I'm excited. I'm just a little anxious of being on the road that long. And I'm excited that I've never seen this country. I really haven't. And so to drive through it is what I'm most excited about.
You're going to make some great memories. I'm really excited for you.
Yeah.
And this is going to be what? You're going to be gone for 3 weeks, a month?
Pretty much a month. Oh, look at this one over here.
Hi.
Say hi, Marley.
Hi.
Hi, Marley. She's so cute.
Are you excited about our road trip?
Yes.
What are you most excited about?
To see Nora.
Oh, her cousin. So that's the cousin in Kentucky that we're seeing. We have two cousins.
And for the 4th of July. I love the 4th of July.
Yes.
Are you going to see alligators and eat beignets?
So are you going to see alligators and eat beignets in New Orleans? She loves beignets.
I love beignets.
Yes, she does love beignets. But she never had an official one in New Orleans. So
Oh.
Cafe Du Monde or Cafe Beignet. I've heard either or, but
You have to try both.
I know, right? And have like chicory coffee and I just want to eat.
Park the RV right in front and go inside.
Or getting a minivan. We're not getting an RV. A minivan.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm just eating. Like that's all I'm doing in New Orleans is eating. Okay, say bye. Goodbye. Yeah. So we're I just want to eat. I've already got, lists of restaurants I want to try.
You're so funny.
I'm so excited. And so, and then of course we're doing the roller coasters, and you know me, I love my roller coasters. So so it's about a month. It's going to be a long effing trip.
And we're going to tape some shows ahead of time.
Yes, we are going to be taping some shows, so you're not going to miss, myself and Kim, and we got some fun things planned. Shrimp and grits. I want my kids to expand their palate, right?
Yeah.
I want them to try new foods. Swan says, my family did a 3-week drive to the East Coast and back when we were growing up. I loved it. One suggestion, get Sirius XM radio in the car or an app on the phone for plenty of listening choices. AM, FM sucks. Okay, so you want to know.
As a radio girl, that makes me sad.
Well, exactly. Yeah. But I mean, now we can Bluetooth things, but this is one of the things. Okay, tell me if I'm a total. So my family actually agreed to this. I hope we can stay with it. So I want during this road trip, the whole point is to bond. This is such a mom thing, right? And so I told the kids and my husband, I said, I know everyone's going to want to have their private time while we're driving. I'm not anticipating, we have to be talking the whole entire time. Everyone's going to want to do their own thing, right? But at least an hour during each stretch, everyone gets to have something that we all listen to together. Okay. So for instance, this is the example that I chose. I love This American Life. Like I love that show.
Sure.
And so I was like, so for instance, if I want us to listen to an episode of This American Life, we all have to listen to it like together. And then, or you want us to listen to an album or something together. We'll learn about your music or something. Then we can learn something about each other and our likes. And that's it. You know, I know. Is that stupid? They agreed.
No, I
They
love
agreed.
it. It's
They
so
agreed.
funny because I was thinking this exact thing and then Luis typed it. It was rolling through my brain. He said this road trip sounds like Chevy Chase's vacation. Are you going to Wally World?
Yes.
I can just see you guys in the minivan with, you know, some hot girls rolling by in the red convertible next door and you're the mom in the front seat. Okay, everybody, we're listening to This American Life.
Yes.
Take your AirPods out or your pods out. We're gonna all listen to it overhead. We're all gonna do the same thing at the same time.
I do. Well, I just want to like, and I'm gonna I want to scrapbook or do something. I want to journal during it or something. I need to.
Yeah.
It's just, this has been my dream that I've wanted to do for so long. I want to market in some way. I'll be taking videos, I'll be posting stuff. So obviously for social media, but I want a concrete, I want something tactile. You know what I mean? I don't want it to be just on digital. I want something that I could put away, you know, for somebody to find later on. And because honestly, like pictures get stuck in Facebook. Do you want to know how many frames I have around my house? Not many, because I forget to print pictures, you know? And so I want something that I can look at and hold. And yeah, so I'm very, 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 very excited, but I am nervous about being on the road.
Yeah.
I'm nervous about weather. It's going to be hot. It's going to be humid, you know. I have no idea about weather, except everyone tells me it's going to be hot and that it could rain. And I don't know. I've never driven across the country, so I have no freaking idea. So,
the Lady Beatrice has a great idea for us. A mother-daughter show. We could do one of the recordings, get Marley and Julia's.
We've always said this. We have always wanted to do
We did it once
this.
on KGO. And that was it was really fun.
It was really, really good.
Yeah.
It was. They were fabulous together. They really were. We have talked about it many times.
Yeah.
These girls are hella busy though. Getting them probably to do it together on a regular basis would be difficult. So it says definitely do a diary of the trip, get paper map, atlas, and felt pens to log the roads. We want to do that. I want to go. I mean, where do you even get the paper maps anymore?
At the AAA.
Where's there a AAA?
To look up an office. There's got to be a AAA office near your house in San Jose.
I mean, I belong to AAA. I signed up for it.
Yeah.
I signed up. I got, there is one. Not too far from me.
Yeah, they're still around.
And I wanted a cross country one. Like I can get a whole cross, or do I have to stop every single time?
They have a whole thing of maps there. I think you can just get a thing.
You know what? My dad used to be a realtor and used to have that like book. Remember the book that
Thomas Guide.
The Thomas Guide. Yeah. I used to love that. So,
as an airborne reporter, I used my Thomas Guide every day.
Yeah, I'm just so excited. I'm really, really excited. But like, it's going to be insane. That's pretty much my entire summer before I go back to work at the school. So it's going to be intense. It's definitely going to be an intense summer. But yeah, so Kim and I are going to have fun stuff for you guys to watch as well. And I'll be posting stuff on YouTube and Facebook and all those sorts of things. So you're going to definitely see me, but keep it here, because if I want to pull my hair out, if bad things happen, you'll definitely be the first to know. Special request, Nikki, please play Lindsey Buckingham's Holiday Road theme from Vacation when you start your trip. Okay.
Holiday Road, right?
I'll try to find it. We'll try to find it.
But yes.
I'll try to find it. Yeah, I'm just really, really excited. So that's our summer, and that is our show. So let's do some thank yous, Kim McAllister. We will be back next week. Now it's going to be recorded because my son graduates next Thursday.
Yay!
So we are going to have a recorded show next Thursday.
Amanda's
because-
oldest graduates from high school next week too.
Yes. Congratulations,
Yeah.
Amanda. So it's going to be a recorded show next week, but Kim and I will be here. Big thank you to Vicky with a $20 donation. Thank you, Vicky. And Louise,
Vicky.
you are always such a big supporter. Thank you for the $5
Louise.
donation once and twice. And again, you guys, hit subscribe if you have not done it already. And please share the show with your friends. Just, send the YouTube link to your friends and say, hey, we do this every Thursday at 5:00 Pacific, and have them join us. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
And even if they watch the recording, it's awesome as well. PayPal is another way to support us. Patreon, all the links are in the show notes. And we really, really do appreciate you. And Auntie Tabby's Island Flavor. I love you guys writing into me and telling me that you love the barbecue sauce. If you want to try it, it's delicious. Go to auntietabbys.com. The coupon code is NIKKIM, NIKKIM. And if you use it, you get 10% off every single time you order. And it's perfect all year long, but especially this time of year. And it's a guava barbecue sauce. It's straight from Jamaica. Tabby is straight from Jamaica. And so again, use the coupon code NIKKIM at auntietabbys.com. All right, you guys, we will be here on Thursday. I'm just letting you know it's recorded because my son is graduating.
Yay!
I'm getting old. I'm getting old. But I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Love you. Bye.
Nikki, you're all so awesome. You're sprout like a beautiful blossom. You're also the best. I really can't rest. You're all so awesome.
Wow. Okay.